Welcome to the Sypnotix. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be taking a look at a really cool piece of technology. It didn't really work out for me at the end of the day, and I didn't end up returning it. However, there is a market for this, and we're going to be talking about something called the PopuPiano. In general, learning a musical instrument, things have changed. People can pick up an instrument and just learn it without private lessons, without finding a teacher. You can just really start teaching yourself. This is marketed as a beginner's piano tool kind of thing. It's actually not a piano. It's not even really a keyboard. It makes no sound. So if you press on the keys, it doesn't make any sounds. You have to turn it on. Even after turning it on, it doesn't make any sounds. You have to connect it to something, connect it to a Bluetooth device, Bluetooth speaker, using the app, using GarageBand, or using some sort of software, a MIDI software. And that's where the audio will be pushed to. So I have been using this with an Apple iPad, and I've been using with the PopuPiano app, which I'll talk about later on. But that's basically what this thing does. This is a 61 key piano keyboard that only has the 61 keys for the right hand, because the starter pack, this always comes with two pieces, that right piano piece for your right hand, and on the left hand you have a smart chord pad, and I'll talk about what a smart chord pad is in the next segment. But that is the package you get here. Is somewhat pricey because you can also get a left-handed attachment, and you can actually have a left hand and a right hand to add additional keys there. But the initial package has the smart chord keypad on the left side and 61 keys for the right hand. And what I mean by right and left is it connects to each other using this magnetic pin. So the 61 keys right-handed board that comes as the starter pack, that is basically the center figure. That's where the power button is. That's where the magnetic pin port is. And on both the left-handed smart chord pad and the left-handed keyboard additional thing you can purchase, they both snap onto the main keyboard using that pin there. So it is really cool. You just snap it on and the whole thing just lights up and it starts working. And I do think that's one thing that's really attractive about the PopuPiano. It is a modern looking device. It is cool looking. The colors are amazing. Imagine your favorite RGB keyboard in terms of your typing keyboard and put it onto your piano keyboard in a really sleek, minimalistic package, and that's what you get here. So I knew what I was getting into because I knew it didn't make sounds and that you had to hook it up to your Mac or your PC or your iPad, and I didn't mind that. After playing with it for a little bit, I did find the sensitivity to not, I mean, it's like average at best for a MIDI keyboard. I have had some MIDI keyboards before. And if you're accustomed to striking keys swiftly and precisely on a keyboard or a piano, you might have some issues here because the keys, while they're smaller than the average piano keys, but it's not that big of a difference. However, I did find the input to kind of stick a little bit. There just isn't proper feedback in that way. Even with MIDI keyboards in mind, I did find it to not have as much feedback as even some of the other MIDI keyboards I've used. And the problem with this is when you're playing on this, I don't think it's a latency issue, or it might be a latency issue, but there's some keys when you're just playing on it that it's just not registering it immediately. And there feels like some stickiness when you're playing. That slight audio delay from when pressing to actually hearing something out of your speaker or your tablet or whatever your Bluetooth hooked up to, it's quite noticeable and it throws you off your rhythm. It definitely threw me off my rhythm when I'm playing it. changed my mindset. I thought about this. If I had never played a piano before, I had no idea what the keys were, octaves, anything about treble clef or bass clef, this actually would be a very interesting way to learn, because we've gotten to this point in music. I don't even want to say music theory, but just learning how to play instruments, that anybody can pick it up. And Guitar Hero and Rock Band, that era of rhythm games, they really kind of changed how people interpret and learn to play music. And now a lot of companies have utilized that into their apps and kind of helped a lot of people learn. So from what I can see, PopuPiano did a really good job here with this app. Not only do they have games for you to play where you have the falling tiles and you have to press your key and hold it for the duration, just like a Rock Band or Guitar Hero game would be, or rhythm game. They also had some really interesting things that weren't hidden behind a subscription wall. From my what I could see, there are supposedly around like 400 plus interactive song games to get started with, alongside a bunch of other learning modes. There's great tutorials, and there's video packages that you watch before you play. So it's essentially replacing a piano instructor to get you started here.
Let's begin by playing the root note using the left hand and revisiting this concept. Using the C major chord as a demonstration, the notes within the C major chord consist of Do, Mi, and Sol. Do is the root note. Let's consider the F major chord as another example. The notes within the F major chord.
I think what PopuPiano does really well is to keep a beginner interested and not want to give up early. To be able to just play some popular pop hits like songs from Taylor Swift or Chinese songs. So there's a lot of Chinese songs here. It just works. You just keep engaged and you just keep playing and learning more and more. Yeah, some of the versions of the choruses are really generic and really stripped down. And they're kind of reaching for it's kind of a stretch to say that that's the chorus that you're hearing. What also impressed me even more with this app is not just these games that you can play with different levels and also the kind of teaching tutorials, but there's so many weird like additional features. Like there's one mode where you can pick 3 keys and the AI or the app, whatever, will generate a brand new song based on some sort of genre that you've picked, and then you can play that interactive game with that song using those 3 keys that you use to make the chords in the songs that they make for you. It's really interesting that they did that. I couldn't help but think, if I learned playing piano using something like this, maybe I would like the piano more. Maybe I would be better at sight reading or just recognizing chords and able to play. I want to talk quickly about the Chord Pad, the smart Chord Pad, because this is kind of unique too. So yes, you can attach the additional keyboard, the left keyboard with the right keyboard, and then that basically gives you additional octaves, and you could somewhat play some tunes. But with the starter pack, you do have this Chord Pad, and what this Chord Pad is, it kind of threw me off in the beginning because I didn't really understand it. But there's 6 buttons here, and they basically simulate what you would do on your left hand. And by having these chords, the button actually has 3 different ranges of chords. If you hit the top part of the button, it has a different range than the center and the bottom, so you have 6 of those. And by doing that, you can actually play your piano with your right hand using the chorus like you would normally do on a regular song, and use this Chord Pad. You really could just get into it and play a song very quickly in this manner. Yes, it's kind of cheating a little bit, and eventually you do gotta learn how to use your left hand, or you won't really know how to play piano for real. But as a learning tool, just to get people invested, if you're buying this for a kid, or if you're an adult and you've never played piano before and you have no experience with anything else, it's actually not too bad. And I think the app itself covers a decent chunk of the cost. It might sound like a lot of money up front, but I do think this PopuPiano app is 2 thumbs up for me. I do think there's a lot of value there. I do think the keyboard looks good. It doesn't play amazingly, but it's okay enough for a beginner. But unfortunately for me, it just didn't work out. But definitely check it out if you're interested and if you're somebody who wants to get into piano. Let me know what you guys think of the PopuPiano, and do you have any other suggestions of cool little keyboards like this? I would definitely want to take a look at it too, and I'll see you guys in the next video.